Hey guys, so we're back again with another reading, and this one is all about how your person is really feeling about you now, what's going through their mind, their thoughts, feelings, and emotions towards you. We're going to get into all of it, and today we have a beautiful selection of cards for you guys to choose from. So you know the drill. As soon as you make up your mind on which card is for you, you can scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and jump right into your pile. If it's your first time watching one of my readings, basically you are going to see which card you feel drawn to and called to. You can always use your intuition and just let it pull you to a certain card. You can also close your eyes and see what color or image comes up to guide you to the right pile. However you make your mind up on the piles is totally valid, totally cool, whatever works for you. Just trust your intuition and guidance to guide you to the right pile. Then when you make up your mind, scroll down to the timestamps and jump into your reading, and that will be the pile with the message for you. I am going to show you guys the numbers on each of the piles. So this is pile number 1. Then we have pile 2 and pile 3. I also want to mention to you guys that I do have my Patreon up with a ton of additional readings. I just posted a reading all about your career and messages you need to know about your career. So some really great career guidance. That one is really helpful and useful, but as soon as you sign up for my Patreon, you get access to all my readings. So about 50 additional readings about so many different subjects, about money, friends, love life, career, spirituality, past lives, future life. So many different topics for you guys to choose from and get through. So if you would like to join us over on Patreon, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description, and I would absolutely love to see you there. Also, if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. Have me pull tarot, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively for you. You can do a year ahead reading, a love reading, career reading, or just an energy check-in. There's lots of different options. So if you would like to get a reading with me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for that. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. With all that being said, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into pile 1. Hey pile 1, so if you guys picked this orange card, this is going to be your reading. So the first oracle cards you guys got are Create and Progress, Your Tribe, Your Vibe, the 10-90 ratio, Jar of Dreams, and Know Your Worth. So I feel like your person feels about you right now that you're very unreachable. Some of you guys might have put some barriers up on the astral plane. I feel like how they see you as someone who's just doing a lot of things, going places, possibly traveling, or just very empowered energy. Like you guys are busy, you guys are booked, you have better things on your mind. Like I feel like in a way, they would think that you're not even thinking about them, or you're not even wasting time worrying about them, because you're so focused on yourself and you're so on this like forward trajectory, busy and just doing your own thing is kind of the vibe I'm getting for you guys. I feel like there's a sense of sadness, or almost like, have they forgotten me? Are they not thinking about me? And almost like regret coming through of like, wow, I can see they're doing amazing things, and maybe a little bit of comparison going on of like, look where I'm at in my life and look where pile 1 is at in their life, and look how much better they're doing, to be honest. So yeah, I feel like for them, it is a little bit painful seeing or imagining that you guys are living this glamorous life or this very busy life, or you're doing really big things. They might think that you have a very like busy friend group, and that you guys are always going to social events, or it could be that you just seem like you're really making strides in your career, but there's this sense of kind of being left behind. I feel like there's some sense of you knowing your worth, and I was literally hearing that in my head, and then I looked back down at the cards and I was like, of course, we got to know your worth card. But, you know, I feel like there's a sense of you kind of realizing your worth at some point. Like maybe at a certain point in the past, you guys were kind of hanging around hoping they would come back, or on the astral plane, they could sense that from your energy, that even if you guys weren't talking, you were still open, or there was still a part of you that was waiting for them. And I feel like now you've moved into an energy where you're not waiting at all for them. You don't really care what they're doing, or you're so focused on yourself and you're so fulfilled with your life that they're kind of like a distant memory to you. So I feel like this person it is a little bit painful for them to have that moment where they're like, oh, so this is for real, and they're really focused on doing themselves. They're focused on them, and maybe I should even do the same. I feel like this person, it's kind of like surprising to them how much it's hurt, because I feel like in a way they liked having you in their back pocket, or they liked imagining that you were always going to be there, that you were just kind of waiting for them, and that maybe one day y'all would get back together, or that you would reach out to them and tell them how much you have been desperate for them, or how much you missed them, or there was this sense that, you were kind of like backup territory that they could always come back to if they really needed to or wanted to. And now I feel like you're making it clear that you're doing your own thing. And some of you guys are doing really amazing things, and you just seem really in love with your life. You seem like you're happy. You seem like you're thriving. Whatever you're doing, it might even be like a hobby or something like that, but it feels like you love what you're doing. You love how you are living. You love your friends, or you love your lifestyle. And I feel like this person can sense that success in you. They can sense this trajectory that you're on that's going to be so amazing and going to lead to this really incredible destination. And so I feel like if they were intimidated by you before, that might have even been a factor for some of you guys with this person ending the relationship, because I almost feel like they wanted something easier, or someone who was easier, maybe easier to kind of control, not in a like completely toxic way, although maybe, but more so in like maybe this person has a low self-esteem or low confidence or something, and they wanted someone who they knew they had on the hook. They wanted someone that they knew like was lucky to have them. You know what I mean? They wanted a partner that they knew would look up to them and be like, oh my God, I'm so lucky. Wow. And I feel like they didn't have that in you, because they were the lucky one to be with you, and everyone kind of knew it. Like, you guys are this queen vibe. Like, I love all the imagery on these cards, especially this one in particular, where she just looks like such a goddess in her beautiful gown. And I feel like that's the vibe with you guys. Like, you have a goddess energy, and you just look like someone who is unbothered. She's staring at her dream. She's not thinking about someone in her past. And I feel like for you guys, this person kind of thought maybe that they would like humble you by leaving you behind, or not reaching out to you, or by leaving you. And instead, you've just gone the opposite direction, and it feels like you've found a piece of yourself, and you're just shot off like a rocket. Like, you are just doing amazing things, and you're living this great, beautiful life, and you seem very unbothered to me, or at least that's how they perceive you. So yeah, it's funny, the image in this card is her like smelling the flowers, and I kind of feel like that's the vibe with you, is like you're living your life, you're enjoying it, you're stopping and smelling the roses, and eating really good food, and like dancing and reading good books, and spending time with friends, and loving your work, or something like that. Like, that's how they perceive you, at least, is like, wow, this person just looks like they're having so much fun, and wow, I didn't really calculate what was going to happen. Let's get into the tarot. So we got 3 of Wands, 10 of Wands, the 4 of Swords. Okay, this got messed up. 4 of Swords, 9 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords, and the Empress. So you guys are definitely the Empress in this. I'm going to try to arrange these, but they kind of got messed up anyway. So I feel like this person is kind of the 9 of Swords energy. Like, I feel like you kind of might have done a number on their confidence as well, pile 1, where I feel like it's not like you ever intended to do this to them, but again, they did a lot of comparing between you two. And I feel like there was some energy of you either earning more money, or just being very dazzling in comparison to them, and them kind of not being able to measure up to you, them not having their ish together in the same way you do. And I feel like in a way they were trying to like knock you down a few pegs so that they could feel more confident if you felt less confident, or if you were questioning. And maybe they were like, well, I'm going to leave them, and they're going to come back desperate, and then I'm going to have it exactly how I want, and they're going to be like so grateful for me, and it's not going to be this dynamic where I'm like the loser who's hanging around and they're the winner. It's going to be flipped, and I'm going to be the winner, they're going to be the loser. And instead you were like, okay, bye, deuces, see ya, and you're in your empress mode. You're just minding your business and you're busy. Honestly, I feel like a lot of you guys are busy with that 10 of wands and 3 of wands. Some of you guys are either already traveling a lot, or you're going to be traveling a lot, or you might have moved, or you just live in a very like busy city where there's a lot going on, something like that. But honestly, it feels like you're not wasting your time anymore. I feel like you guys might even do self-care, or you might post self-care on your Instagram, or you might post like therapy quote kind of things, you know, like the images, the screenshot someone will take of like a I don't know how to put it in different words, but like a quote from therapy of like how to get better, or a quote from like a spiritual teacher of like how to manifest, or you know what I mean? You might post those kinds of things that show you're doing a lot of self-growth work, and this person might have seen like, wow, they're really focused on themselves, they're really doing their thing. And I feel like there's also an image or a vibe around some of you guys of like, you're not afraid anymore. Like I feel like at a certain point you were terrified, or you were really upset when they left you, or when you didn't hear from them for a long time. It really did bother you, and now you're like chilling with it. Like you're so good, you're so happy, you don't really care. And I feel like this person can feel the energetic shift within you. They kind of know, even if you guys aren't talking, they can sense the difference in your energy fields. Let's get some more. I want to do a live shuffle. How is this person feeling towards pile 1? I honestly feel like they're kind of in denial about their feelings. Like, I don't think this person does a lot. Wow. 10 of Swords reversed. Yeah, but it's interesting it's reversed, because it's like they want to deny that's how they're feeling. They don't want to admit that they messed up. I feel like this person is very much in a mode or an energy of kind of like pretending everything's fine, or pretending like, yeah, I made the right choice. They might even have friends ask them like, do you still think about pile 1, or does it bother you that you guys aren't talking, or that she's dating someone new or whatever? And this person would be like, no, it doesn't bother me. No, I don't even think about it. And they would probably even think that they mean it. Like they would probably in their mind be like, yeah, no, I'm good. And it's like almost one of those situations where, you know, someone tells someone like, no, I'm fine, I'm happy, I'm super fabulous. And then they have a breakdown. I'm not saying this person's going to have a breakdown or anything like that, but you know, there's plenty of times someone's in denial about how they really feel. And I feel like this person is in denial, not really willing to admit the effect you had on their life, because again, they're so threatened by your power. They don't want you or anyone else around them to know how powerful you are. And I do feel like their friends kind of know that you had this big effect, that they were very into you, and for them they're kind of embarrassed by it. Like I feel like they feel like they took an L in comparison to you. It feels like somewhat, I don't know, you might have walked away, or if they walked away, they did it with the intention of making you come back. But I feel like you're the kind of person where you're a lot more honest in relationships. So when you say you're done, you genuinely mean it. You're not faking. You're not like, oh, I hope they come back, I'm done. You really mean it when you're like, okay, so we're over. And I feel like when you guys broke up, you were like, oh, okay, wow, so that's how it is. And you really thought they meant it. You didn't know it was like a tactic they were using to try to pull you back in. And so because of that, I think, you know, for them, it's like a plan that just went really bad and kind of spiraled out of control, that I feel like they've spent a lot of time like looking back on and just being like, oh, that was, yeah, I didn't really plan that super well. But they are still a little vengeful. Like I said, they're fully in denial, and they might be for a really long time about how they feel about you. They would probably act like they're angry. They probably feel more comfortable with pretending they're angry, or acting like, you know, this was totally some unfair, crazy thing that happened, instead of admitting their mistakes, and instead of admitting that they were the ones in the wrong. Let's get some more tarot. Spirit, how do they feel for pile 1? It's kind of funny because again, and as I say that, we get the moon, which obscures and obfuscates, because you guys, I feel like this person so doesn't even want to tell me how they feel. Like they are so in denial about it. They are so lying. If I'm being honest, I would call this lying energy. I know that's harsh, but it's like, bro, just be honest, you know, like I'm a tarot reader. I don't even care. I don't know who you are really, but my point is just be honest with me. And this person can't even be honest on the astral plane anonymously. They, I feel like, don't want to come out with their emotions. They're so afraid of looking kind of like a loser or a simp or a munch or whatever. They are just completely and totally hiding it and not wanting to tell anyone really, even themselves, how they really feel or how much of an effect they had, that you had on them. Let's see what this card is. Seven of Pentacles reversed. So it's like they're not willing to do the work. They're not willing to actually, you know, go to therapy or be honest with someone. I could totally see this being the kind of person who gets into other relationships as a way of running away or as a way of kind of faking the fact that they've moved on, or showing like publicly that they've moved on. Like they want their family and friends to think they're good. So they would, you know, get married just so they could have everyone be like, oh my God, like they're clearly over it, even though they're not. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not trying to be harsh, but I just think this kind of behavior is so clown-like to me. And so I get frustrated when someone does this in a reading. I'm like, oh my God, just be real. Just be real. Like, come on, just say what's going on. Let's get some song cards for you guys. How are they feeling towards pile one? I'm not looking at any of these, by the way. Okay, Moi Je Joue, Brigitte Bardot, and it's kind of perfect that they're like picking the one song that's in a foreign language entirely, that's in French, because I feel like, again, they don't even want to talk. Like, that's so perfect. They don't want to like have clear answers. They want it to be like them speaking nonsense because they do not want to be honest about their feelings. I can't emphasize this enough. They want to hide away what they really feel. They don't want everyone to know that they, you know, that it's really been a breakdown for them in their heart. I feel they have been heartbroken by this and they don't want to admit it. So they're just kind of almost like making a joke of it. You know what I mean? Okay, we got crying in public. Now we're being honest. Okay, chairlift. That's what they don't want to do, is cry in public or in private, but they don't want anyone to see them. That would be their literal nightmare, would be crying in a public place and having everyone notice. And so I feel like they have done the most to go out of their way on Instagram and other places to act like everything's good, everything's fine, and that they just can't be bothered and that it's no big deal. Yeah, they just really want everyone to think that they're thriving, even though they're not. We got August, Taylor Swift. Wow. And that song is also talking about a kind of dysfunctional relationship where someone, you know, this is what I'm saying, is this person might be in another relationship with someone as a way to get over you or as a way to prove to others they're over you. That's just a very transactional type of relationship, because August is all about us. It's kind of complicated, but it's a song about a love triangle, basically, where the guy is in love with one girl who's also in love with him. And this other girl comes around and she likes the guy. He doesn't like her back. And so she cheats with him. And then they have this summer together where they're like spending all this time together and obviously doing romantic things together, but they're not actually in love. And I feel like that's kind of a vibe here, where this person is thinking of you, but they're actually with someone else. And I hear that line in my head where it's like, because you were never mine, never mine. And I feel like that's what this situation is. It's like this person is with someone else, but their heart isn't fully in it. It's just like they kind of found someone who would like be with them, who maybe just wants a partner, and there's no love there, but neither party cares or something like that. And I feel like the whole time they wonder and check in a lot on you. I can see someone lurking social media. I can see someone checking like Twitter and Instagram, Snapchats, TikTok, whatever, and just like refreshing the page and trying to see and trying to lurk, and also making a joke out of it to their friends, like laughing with their friends about like, I don't care. Oh yeah, I saw she has a new boyfriend. Please, he looks like a dork. You know what I mean? Even if they don't believe it and they're actually crying on the inside and their friends know it and they're like, bro, this is cringe, they still would say that. Oh, wait for me, Hall and Oates. Yeah, this person wants you to wait for them. This person is really hoping that you're going to be still hanging around waiting, so happy I could die, Lady Gaga. And that's what they want to project. They want to project they're happy, everything's good, even though they're not. I wish they would even be honest with me. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I get frustrated with this energy, and I'm just like, oh, this person's annoying to me because I just feel like they just aren't being real with me. Like, I feel like they just continue to talk about how good they are and how like they don't really care, but they're not wanting to get super deep. And it's like a lot of times these are the kinds of people you see that literally have like a meltdown or a midlife crisis or something because they're living a lie and they're pretending and they're building it on this like unsolid foundation of like, oh, everything's happy and appearance based, kind of like a house that looks really beautiful on the outside but has a horribly cracked foundation. Like, that's going to be a problem sooner or later. It just is a fact. And so I don't think this person does a lot of deep thinking, if I'm honest. I don't think they do a lot of meditating or deep introspection or therapy work. I feel like they're just kind of like, this is fine, this is good enough, whatever, I'm gonna look on the bright side and I'm just gonna pretend everything is happy. And the funny thing about The Bright Side is by Lil Peep is that song is actually really it's kind of dark and sad, and yeah, it's a lost love type of song as well. So I feel like this person is just putting on a thin veneer of pretending they're good even though they're really not, and even though it probably causes them a lot of pain to be in this kind of place of denial. Let's get into some more cards. Spirit, please give me guidance from these cards. How is pile one's person feeling? How is pile one's person feeling? So we got flying, heal the ouch, and that's what came out reversed. So it's like they're not doing active healing work. They're pretending that everything's good. They're pretending that everything is fine. They're pretending that they're flying and that, but it's not the actual truth, you know? I feel like this person does a lot of things to distract themselves. They do a lot of things to take their mind off it. And I also feel like in a weird way, I know this is strange, but this person is kind of protective of you at the same time. And on the astral plane, I feel like they kind of do check in with you just to make sure like you're not freaking out or really stressed. And on one hand, they don't want you to be stressed, but on the other hand, you might have really been thriving lately and just feeling super happy all the time. And they can feel that on the astral plane, and that might get to them as well. As like, yeah, I don't actually want them to get hurt, but I don't want them to be like super happy without me. I really feel like there was a misunderstanding or something, and this person thought you guys were going to have a discussion, or they thought you guys were going to have a talk, and things were going to patch back up sooner or later, that you guys were going to find your way back to each other, kind of like this magical stream that just you'll float on it together and end up on the same patch of water, even if you're coming in different directions or whatever. But I feel like that has not happened. And instead, you finally were like, you know what? I'm not waiting anymore. And it's like this person just couldn't get their act together. They couldn't get themselves where they should have been. And I honestly feel like this person is in such a place of deep denial that they might not even realize it for years or until like the end of their life or something like that. And it might be one of those really painful realizations that someone makes at like 80, where they're like, you know what, I should have said that to my first love, or I should have said that to my, you know, girlfriend from, you know, when I was 35 or whatever, whenever this is. One of those people that looks back and is just like, why didn't I give it my all? Why did I just let things stay the same? And why did I think it's just so much easier sometimes in life to stay in stasis and just to like let things persist in the current energy that it's in, rather than like turning your life around, especially when you made a bad choice and you're like, holy guacamole, I screwed up. Keeping things very PG for YouTube, so holy guacamole, messed up. Yeah, I think that they feel like they definitely made mistakes, and they don't want to admit it to themselves because they're afraid of the upheaval that it would cause in their life, all the issues and all the like corrections they would have to make, because I feel like this would be a big overhaul. They might be very linked with this new partner they're with, where like they live together, or they're married, or they have kids together, or something like that, where it would be very difficult to extricate themselves, or they're just in a really committed relationship, or they have all the same friends, or something like that, where it feels like it would be really hard for this person to remove themselves from it. Let's get some of these cards. How are they perceiving pile one? How are they perceiving pile one? The Ice Queen. Wow. Yeah, you guys are untouchable to them. They're out of reach now. That's how they see you, as out of reach, untouchable, and almost like, why even try? Because pile one would just say no. Pile one would just not be interested anyway. And I feel like they see you as much wiser than they are. I feel like you guys were always a source of kind of divine spirituality, wisdom for them. Like you were always kind of the smart one in the relationship. And I'm not talking about math or science. I'm talking about real wisdom, spiritual wisdom. I feel like you were the one who had your head screwed on straight when it came to them, and would give them a lot of wisdom. And for them, I feel like there's this big sense of, I kind of bungled things. Yeah, that wasn't so great. I really didn't do a good job with that. So I feel like this kind of hangs over their head. They don't want to be honest about it. They don't want to admit it. There's a part of them that I feel like just doesn't even let themselves go there, doesn't even let themselves dig deep into like how they're really feeling. They're just trying to survive. They're just trying to, and I love that that says false promises. And I almost read it as like false pretenses, which I think is perfect for this person, because it feels like they're going through life on false pretenses, where they're pretending to be something they're not. They're pretending to feel, think, live a life that's not actually accurate or true. And they're just kind of in survival mode. Like I feel like they kind of have resigned themselves a long time ago, that like maybe I'll never feel the kind of love I felt for pile one. Maybe that's just how it is. And maybe, you just don't have to have that love. And maybe it's just about, I don't know, making money um, and getting approval from your friends, and that's good enough. And oh well, but I don't feel like that's satisfying them. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if this person has like a midlife crisis, or later on contacts you and has a breakdown. Or I'm not saying that, I'm not willing that or wishing that into existence. Of course, I would never wish that on someone. But I'm just saying the energy here is so disingenuous and so dishonest on such a deep soul level, that I just don't know how this is maintainable. I don't know how they could have like a good, healthy relationship when they're lying to themselves and their partner, because frankly, it's very unfair to their partner as well, because I'm sure their partner doesn't quite know. They might have an inkling, but I'm sure don't know fully how much this person thinks of you and wishes they could be with you, and is jealous of you and jealous of your partner. And how much images of you come to their mind late at night when they're laying in bed, and they think of you and they remember you, and then they push it away in the morning. You know what I mean? It's dysfunctional. And I feel like whoever their partner is deserves more as well. And everyone deserves more except this person. I don't really like them, if you can't tell, because I feel like they're just lying energy. I don't like lying energy. But sorry, not trying to be harsh, but I just, yeah, not my cup of tea. But I do feel like, I don't know, what could I say that's positive? Maybe one day they'll realize it. I don't know. I feel like you guys are doing well, so that's a good thing. You guys, have the seal of approval from me, from Briar Rose Tarot, seal of approval, but them, not so much. So yeah, I don't know. I hope one day they can grow out of this and be more honest with themselves and with you and their partner. It's just, that would take a lot of repivoting and a lot of work on their end. And I don't know if they're ready for that, but we'll see. We can just cross our fingers and pray for them, I guess. Anyways, guys, I really hope that resonated. Wow, this was, this person's energy is not the vibe for me right now, but I get why some of you guys, I don't know. I'm sure there's love here and I can understand. I hope I'm not coming across too judgmental. But I wish they would just be real about their feelings and contact you, tell you, or just tell me. I'm just the tarot reader. You can it's a safe space here. You can tell me. But anyway, I hope it resonated, guys. Let me know if it did in the comments. I always love hearing from you, hearing your thoughts, your reactions, how accurate you thought it was, or how much it vibed with you. I'm always loving to read your comments. So please let me know what you think. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button if it did resonate with you, and make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on. Hit that bell so you can find out as soon as I post next. Also, if you guys want to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. When you sign up, you get access to about 50 additional readings. We also vote on new readings that you guys want to see, and you guys suggest new readings. So it's very interactive. And yeah, like I said, new readings go up all the time, and there's so many different topics, about 50 different topics to choose from. So I hope you guys will join us there. I think I just posted one all about your career, so that's got a lot of great info, but there's love readings, spirituality readings, relocation readings, friend readings, future readings, past life readings, so many. So I hope you'll check it out. The link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there over on Patreon. Also, if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. You can have me pull tarot, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively for you. And you can get a year ahead reading, a love reading, a career reading. There's so many different options. So I would love to do a reading for you. And if you want one of those, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and I hope to see you there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, Pile 2. So if you guys picked this purple card, this is going to be your reading. So for your oracle cards, you guys got Take Action, Queen of Everything, No Strings Attached reversed, Emotional Baggage reversed, and Hidden in Plain Sight. So I do feel like your person is really wanting to reach out to you. It feels like they kind of go back and forth in their mind about whether they should send that text, whether they should DM you, whether they should get back in touch, whether they should call you. And I feel like it's an active thing that they're going through where they kind of can't make their mind up. They would like some kind of contact with you, but I also feel like there's this expectation that you would say no, or you would be like, absolutely not, I'm not going to talk with you. I do feel like this person definitely heavily lurks your social media, and they might be doing it under a private account with this hidden in plain sight. They might be, looking at your Instagram or whatever, but not actually from their account, but by like a burner account or something like that. I do feel like this person is saying that either they're blaming you for having emotional baggage and that you are someone who had a lot of issues going into the relationship. I do feel like that's the case for some of you. This person might be saying that like you have emotional issues, and I almost feel like they're not saying that in a bad way though, like to attack you, but kind of like in a way of like they understand and they're wistful, I guess, or wishful that things could be fixed with you. Not to put it all on you. I'm definitely not doing that. But I feel like they're kind of looking at things where maybe they're acknowledging that you've had traumas or pains in the past. And maybe they feel like they think about that thing, like maybe, your parents got divorced or something, and that you're kind of commitment phobic or something like that. And this is something that they kind of think about, wonder about, worry about, or wish that they could fix, or that they feel like affected the relationships in some ways. Or it could be their own emotional baggage. It could be that they have issues because their parents are divorced. But I feel like there's an energy here with someone like not willing to do the work or kind of running away from the situation. I almost feel like it might be you, like they feel like you left them, but it could be flipped. The energy could definitely be flipped here. But I feel like for some of you guys, there's an energy here of like, I would have worked through all these things. Like to me, you're good enough even with all these issues. So maybe you are someone who's like, yeah, I know I have issues, and I know I have trauma from my parents' divorce or from whatever. And I just don't want to get so close to someone because I'm afraid that they'll see all that and I'm just going to blow up the relationship anyway, and it's never going to work out. And this person wants you to know that they would have stayed with you through all of that. Like to them, it doesn't matter. They just want to be a part of your life. They just want to get to be around you. that's all they really want, and they will take you in whatever form they can get you. So if that's you having traumas, or you dealing with, you know, sadness from an ex, or like sadness from your parents' divorce, or whatever this may be, then they're still happy to be around you, and they're still happy to take you in whatever way they can get you. I still think they think of you as very perfect and amazing. And in a way, this may have been reasons you guys connected. Like maybe sometimes with soulmates and twin flames, they actually share the same trauma. And that can be the reason why they join each other and they meet up, is because it's kind of bringing up this trauma so that both can work through it. So they might have both had like unavailable parents that were gone a lot growing up, or they might have both had overbearing parents, but that's how they kind of find this commonality and why it feels like a very instant connection. And that may have played a part in this. And I feel like this person is kind of saying that some of you guys, they perceived that you didn't want anything super serious, that you wanted to keep things really casual, and they always wanted more from you. They wanted all of you. They didn't want just a part of you, or they didn't want, you know, you just out having fun with other people and it not being that intense. They truly wanted like a very intense commitment from you. They wanted everything from you. And I feel like they kind of never made themselves clear. They probably never fully told you that. But yeah, to me, it feels like I want more from pile one. Like I don't just want a piece of them. I don't want to just see them on the weekends, or just hook up with them, or just like, you know, DM with them sometimes or whatever. I want everything. I want to be physically present with them and be so close. But I feel like this person was kind of afraid of how you would take that, because they might have perceived that you would think of them as like being overly needy or desperate or cringe, or kind of like a simp or a munch or something like that. So I feel like they kind of held that part of themselves back, and they kind of tried to play it cool. And now they're like, I think they think of you as someone who is very elusive, kind of like you're doing your own thing, you're living your best life, but you're not desperately wanting a relationship, and you're not like one of those people that's just like, I just want love, I just want someone to settle down with. That's not your vibe. Like, you're very independent. And I think sometimes they love that about you, but it also they're bringing that up as a reason why the relationship, I guess, didn't work or something like that. I hope that makes sense, but that's kind of what I'm intuitively picking up on from the beginning cards. And so yeah, I feel like they still want things to work with you, but they kind of see you as like jumping from leaf to leaf, like this card, like just, you know, this person's very active and they're jumping around and going here and going there. And, you know, I feel like that's kind of how they perceive you, as like you're busy, or you're just hard to kind of fully pin down and lock down and get into a relationship with, because you might not be looking for something that serious. You might be looking just for fun, or they just think you were never that into them, that you would have wanted something as serious with them. So let's get into some more cards. So we got the Knight of Swords, Six of Wands, Queen of Cups reversed, Temperance reversed, Three of Swords, and the Five of Cups. So definitely there's a sense of regret and pain and sadness coming through. This person may think some of you guys are like emotionally a little bit cut off with that Queen of Cups being reversed. Almost like you weren't as, you know, sometimes maybe they thought that they were going to get a partner who was going to like be super emotionally open, and they had this idea of the relationship as like their partner being like, yay, I'm so glad you asked me to be your girlfriend, yay, I'm so happy. And instead, I feel like you guys just were always very cool, kind of like, yeah, I guess I could be your girlfriend, or we don't need to put a label on it, or something like that. Like, I feel like you kind of surprised them in a way, because you are so independent and they weren't expecting that. They kind of, that wasn't the script they had in their mind for this relationship. They really wanted someone who was kind of a little bit emotionally needier. And I feel like in a way, your independence, like they didn't know how to react to it. They didn't know what to say, or where they could fit into your life, or what, you know, what kind of role they could play for you. And I feel like that threw them for a real loop and kind of emotionally set them on a little bit of a tailspin. And then maybe they pulled away reactionarily or something, and they were like, well, let me give this relationship a little time, or something like that. And then you were like gone. You were like, I'm not wasting any time waiting around for you. And now they're like, okay, how do I approach this? So again, with the Knight of Swords, definitely an emphasis on them wanting to reach out to you, wanting to talk to you. And for sure with the Six of of Swords lurking on your social media and paying a lot of attention to what you have going on your socials, and feeling like, again, you're kind of thriving. You guys are doing really well, that you seem busy, that you seem very kind of distracted onto new things. They might also perceive that you're in a new relationship with someone else, or that you have a very busy dating life, or if you're not dating actively, that you have a lot of offers. You have a lot of people who have crushes on you, would like to date you, would like to be around you. I feel like this person, it might even be a daily struggle for them, kind of thinking about like, should I reach out? Should I say something? Should I just leave them alone? Do they want me to leave them alone? But I really want to talk to them. I do feel like they're saying how witty and funny you guys are, and that the conversation with you was just amazing. It was always so on point. You guys would always really get along and just could like talk about literally anything. I feel like that connection you guys had, the closeness, I feel like you guys are just a really fun, interesting person to talk with, to vibe with. And you're a fun, interesting person in general. Like, you lead an interesting life. You're doing interesting things. You seem like you're just one of those people that like might even have random followers on Instagram, or might have people who are just interested in what you do because it's so action packed, and because you're always going places, doing things, trying new things. And I feel like for them, they love that about you. But again, it's kind of like, where do I slot into this person's life? How can I make myself a place in their life when they just seem so fulfilled anyway? They don't really seem like they need me. They don't really seem like they're lonely. They don't really seem like they're lacking. And I don't think they're mad about it, but I think they're kind of bewildered, or kind of just concerned about like, okay, so I don't think I'm necessary here. I guess I can just go. Like, they're not going to notice either way. But I do think they think about you and definitely reminisce on some of the things you guys have said, because again, I feel like you guys can be quite funny and witty when you want to. Like, you're just a really interesting person, like I said, to chat with or to have a conversation with. I want to get some of these song cards. So let's get into the song cards to figure out what this person is feeling for pile number 2. No one's gonna love you, Band of Horses. And so the full lyric in that song is, no one's gonna love you more than I do. I feel like this person is coming through with a very sweet energy. I feel like they really appreciated a lot of your quirks, or a lot of your like almost issues. Like I was saying, I feel like in a way they are bringing up like trauma or childhood stuff or commitment anxiety or whatever. And in a way, I actually feel like they really like that about you. Like, they see you as a very complex, interesting person who is so unusual and so different from the norm. You're not easy to figure out. And I think they actually like that, in the same way that maybe like a mathematician is probably pretty bored with like 2 + 2 = 4, but will get really excited about like figuring out all the last numbers in pi, or figuring out a really complicated algorithm, and it would like get them going. So I feel like this person, it's like they like the challenge. They like the fact that you're not just so easy to uncover. And I do feel like there was a lot of feelings of this person, maybe even feeling like they didn't handle you with the kind of grace or the like easiness, I guess, the soft touch that you kind of require. Because again, I feel like some of you guys have high standards, and it's almost like you might cut someone off over something small. Like, if they said something slightly wrong or didn't text you back right away, you might be the person who's like, okay, I'm done. And I feel like in a way, as much as they regret that, they also respect the heck out of it. They respect the fact that you're not a doormat. They respect the fact that you look after yourself. You respect yourself. You are, you really are hard to get. You're not just playing hard to get, you are hard to get. And you kind of are like that girl or that guy. And so I think with this person, they like it, but they just don't know how to approach it. And they might worry that, they're like, I'm the only one who can figure out pile 2. I know I get them in a way no one else will. I know that even if they have all these simps and hangers on around them and people who want to date them, they don't understand them in the same way I do. And the way we talked about our childhood traumas together, or the way we shared our anxieties about the world or our political beliefs or whatever, like, that was such a deep connection, and no one else is going to be able to compare or come close to that. I feel like this person, they feel like what they had with you was really special, unique, and rare on both sides. And in a way, I feel like they regret, like I said, how they handled things. So let's get some more cards. We got Unchained Melody, Righteous Brothers. Wow, so that's a very deep emotion. Let's see what else we're going to get. Honey and I, Hyam. Okay. And Romeo, Chairlift. Okay. I feel like that could be kind of you, because they might see you even as a little bit of a player sometimes. They might see you as someone who, you know, is always going new places, always dating new people, always has people looking at them and thinking how cute they are, how attractive they are. Someone who has lots of options, someone who's very charming and could probably like flirt with the bartender and get a bunch of free drinks, or, you know, get the waiter to bring them over a free dessert because like they're just batting their eyelashes at the waiter, you know. I feel like they see you as someone who has a lot of charm up your sleeves and you can kind of get what you want with it. And so I feel like they're kind of like, like I hope that they're not linking up with someone new. I hope they're not just in a relationship. They might see you as someone, like I said, who's like in hot girl summer mode or just doesn't want anything serious right now, and as a little bit of a player. I also feel like they might see you on the inverse. They might see you as being cut from your emotions, cut off from your emotions and not super emotional, or the inverse, they might see you as someone who's like overly emotional, has too much emotions and kind of lets that run the show. Kind of like, I'm mad, so I'm blocking you, even if you're not, you don't actually never want to talk to them again, but you would be that person who's like, nope, you're blocked and that's it, I'm done. So I feel like for them, they might feel like the things that happened between you guys were misunderstandings, and that deep down underneath that you guys are connected on such a deep level, on such a soul level. And it's kind of like all these silly misunderstandings, the dumb stuff, that there might have been something small that prompted you guys to not talk, or some kind of just drop off in communication that happened, but it's like underpinning this, there's so much deep love and connection. And I feel like this person wishes you guys could get back to that place, because again, I feel like the conversations were amazing. No one else could make each other laugh the way you guys can. And I feel like they look back with so much fondness on like the funny little things you would do, the, you know, the inside jokes you guys had, or the conversations. It just feels like that flew away, or that I don't know what I was saying. That just flowed so well, so easily between you guys. And then we got Run Away With Me, Carly Rae Jepsen. So again, I feel like this person is kind of fighting a daily battle of like, should I text? Should I reach out? I really want to talk to Pile 2. I hope they're good. Let me lurk their Instagram stories again. Let me see what they're up to. Let me try to get like a little piece of what's going on with them. And they might fantasize like randomly calling you up and being like, I'm picking you up, like let's get in the car and let's drive somewhere. Because I am hearing that lyric from August by Taylor Swift where she's like, you remember when I pulled up and said get in the car and then canceled my plans just in case you'd called, back when I was living for the hope of it all. I feel like, you know, this person in a way, they see you as that like kind of with like August chaotic energy in that song, like very assertive, very just does what she wants. But at the same time, they kind of feel like they might have liked you more. They might have been the person in that song that's actually the one who likes you more. And you're just doing your own independent thing. And you're focused on your life. You're going places, doing things, talking to people. But I feel like also one thing they're bringing up is you guys make a really attractive couple to others in their mind. Like they see you as very attractive, very beautiful, very cute. And part of it is also thinking about how much of a great couple you would have made. Like just, I feel like other people seeing you guys together, they would have been like, oh my gosh, that couple is adorable. They look, you know, they just seem to fit. You know how sometimes you see a couple and they just seem so aligned. They just seem to kind of fit, or they have the same aesthetic, or they have the same general look, and it just kind of makes sense. I know that's weird, but I feel like they're bringing that up as like maybe you guys share a friend group, or you share an aesthetic, or you just look similar, or you look complementary, or you just make a good impression when you guys are together. You're just one of those kind of good looking couples. I feel like that's another thing they think of, is like they wish they could have shown you off and flexed you a little bit by being like, this is, yep, this is my partner, this is my girlfriend, or this is my boyfriend. So let's get into some of, actually, I want to do another tarot little eye shuffle. So what other cards can we get for pile number 2, Spirit? How is pile 2's person feeling towards them? How do they see them? Wow. So like a lot of memories. First of all, Knight of Wands as well as the Knight of Swords. So they definitely want to reach out. And the Chariot. Wow. They definitely do want to reach out, and they definitely still have this very strong attraction for you. They definitely still wish you guys could be in touch, and that I also like very attracted. So they want to definitely be around you and be close to you in a variety of ways. They're very turned on by you. And I feel like they look at your pics and think about how like hot you are, to be honest. They look at your pics and they think about how attractive you are, and they might have some fantasies about you. But anyway, we're not getting into that. But yeah, I feel like the pull towards you is super, super strong. And again, those memories, like I feel like there's a element when you guys are together that it almost feels like two little kids or two like giggling siblings or something. Like when you guys get together, again, I keep mentioning it, but they think of you as really funny or witty, or that you guys just have a laugh together and you just have a really great time. Like it's kind of like there's a base of friendship underpinning all of this, where it's not just passionate love where you're not really super connected emotionally and it's just a physical desire, but there's a lot of deep emotion underpinning it as well, and fondness. So let's get into these cards. How do they see pile 2? How do they see pile 2, Spirit? How does their person see pile 2? So we got the Camel Boy, small steps, asking for help. The Eyes of Beauty, positive expectations, clarity, and the Queen of the Light, illumination, enlightenment, celebration. So like I was saying, so attracted to you guys. They just see you as so attractive and very beautiful. Sorry guys, I accidentally shook my camera, so I wanted to refilm and keep it clear. But yeah, I feel like this person wonders a lot about exactly how to approach you. And for some of you guys, they might have actually done something that really upset you, or they might have done things that really bothered you. And there might be a sense for them of like, I know pile number 2 is mad at me. I know pile 2 wouldn't forgive me. Or there's been too much time that's passed, or there's too much like water under the bridge, or too much miscommunication, and kind of like being afraid of your anger. Because again, I think they see you as very powerful, and like you're not really suffering any fools. Like you're not gonna just take them back because you want to be nice and just be like this kind of like overly simpy vibe of like I'm just desperate and pathetic for a relationship. That's not you at all. You are very strong. And I feel like sometimes it does make them feel kind of small in comparison. It kind of makes them wonder how they would fit in, or how they could get into your life, or what kind of role they would play for you. So yeah, I feel like for them, it is a sense of wanting to be close, wanting to reach out, wondering how they can make that happen, like writing out the text, writing out the DM, putting your phone number like in the call, hovering their hand over the call button, but like not actually going through it. Yeah, I think for them, it's definitely something that I feel like they go over quite a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised in this energy with this pile if this person does reach out to you, because I feel like that's like a constant back and forth pull push thing happening in their mind, is like, should I text? Should I reach out? I want to, but I don't know what they're going to say. They're probably going to ignore me. They're probably going to think I'm lame. So yeah, I think the desire for you, like I said, is really, really strong. And I think in a way they do have a lot of regrets about how everything went down, and about the miscommunications, and about not being able to reach out earlier. Let's get into some of these cards. Spirit, please can you give me guidance for pile number 2? How is their person feeling? So we got details, and this one says the sacred pool. Okay. Let's get this as well. So yeah, I feel like a lot of it is kind of the details. That's a good word for it, because I feel like the feelings are there on both sides. It's kind of a matter of almost like two people speaking different languages, or two people who are just, butting heads for no reason. Even though you guys agree and you guys, the connection, the love is there, it's almost like there's these petty small differences getting in the way. And I feel like this person wants to go back to the place that you guys were at where it was just the fun, relaxed, kind of laughing energy. They wish that you guys could kind of put those differences in the past. And I also feel like, again, they're bringing up almost like their own issues from childhood or your issues from childhood, and almost like, but we get each other because of that. And again, they're not saying it in a judgmental way of like, yeah, so they ruined this relationship and they're a problem, but they're kind of saying it in like a, and I know that they have issues with this, and I wish that they would like completely open up to me, because like I'm okay with it and I would be fine, and I just want the best for them, and I will deal with it. Like I don't care if they have a messed up childhood issue. I don't care if they aren't perfect. I don't care if they are commitment phobic. I will deal with it. I want them around me, but I feel like it's a lot for them to say that, and they're just nervous and worried that you would like block them as soon as you got their text, or you would like even post it like to your stories to your friends and be like, LOL, like, oh my God, he's such a loser texting me again. You know what I mean? I feel like these are things this person worries about, is like almost being afraid that, yeah, that you just wouldn't be open to them, and that it would all be this massive disagreement again that might have happened in the past. So yeah, I think that is what I have for you guys. Pile 2, I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts, your feelings on this situation. It does seem a little messy, but I feel like there's so much love and emotion here. So it's unfortunate that sometimes these kinds of miscommunications can happen, but there is a lot of love and emotion. So I would love to know how you took this reading. I love reading your thoughts, your feelings. So let me know. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button if it did resonate, and make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on. Hit the bell so you can find out as soon as I post and be the first to know. And if you guys want to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about your career and what you need to know about that. And when you sign up, you get access to all my readings. So about 50 additional readings about love, spirituality, career, your future life, your past lives, relocation, friends, so many different topics to choose from, about 50 additional topics. So there's lots to go through. You guys also suggest new readings over there, and then we vote on those. So there's a lot to do. So I would absolutely love to have you join us over there on Patreon. And if you want to sign up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description. And I would absolutely love to see you there on Patreon. And if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. You can have me read your tarot. You can have me do your astrology chart, channel mediumship, or intuitively. You can do a year ahead reading, a career reading, a love reading, just an open channeling session, or do an energy check-in, which I think is super important just to do every few months, just like a regular checkup, I guess. I just think it's a great spiritual practice to have. So if you guys want to get one of those, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, to sign up for a session with me. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked this yellow card, this is going to be your reading. So for your oracle cards, you guys got be open to receiving, rehabilitation, confessions, disconnect, and perfect moments. So I do feel like your person has a lot of deep feelings for you. And honestly, to them, I do feel like they think of you as a bit of a soulmate, as a bit of a missed opportunity, or someone that they just have a very deep connection with on the astral plane. They might not call it that, but I do feel like you might be the one that got away, or someone that just has a very special place in their heart. I feel like in a way they could really feel like they could be honest with you about a lot, that they could tell you things, that you were always very understanding towards them, very warm towards them. And I feel like for them, it has been painful not being able to be around you. I'm almost getting the vibe that for some of them, they're working on themselves right now. They might have like taken a break or disconnected from this relationship in a way to let themselves grow. It might have been an unconscious feeling. It might have even been a runner. They might not have been used to feeling this intensity, this depth of the connection. So they ran away from how they felt. They ran away from these emotions and from the intensity, the power between you guys. But I do feel like this person thinks of you, like I said, very fondly, looks back on your memories and replays them, and feels like the connection they had with you, they're probably not going to be able to find with anyone else, at least not for a really long time. I do feel like sometimes they consider going back and telling you how they feel, but honestly, that feels like it's a long shot just because of how vulnerable it would require them to be. And I feel like, because it's one thing to tell someone you have a crush on them or that you're interested or that you think they're hot, but it's a different thing to be like, oh my god, I'm in love with you, or I feel a soulmate connection. And in a way, I feel like this person isn't ready for that level of commitment as well. Like, I feel like for them, they wouldn't know how to go that deep, wouldn't know how to have like those disagreements in a couple where you are hashing out where you're going to spend vacation, or which family you're going to spend the holidays with, or one person wants to decorate the house in a blue color and the other pink or whatever, and you're really at butting heads and you have to like have a compromise. Those are just small examples, but that's what I mean. Is I feel like this person is, it's almost like they're not ready for it right now. It's almost like they know that what you have is special, but they're still afraid of what that would require from them. And I feel like they're very grateful for the healing energy you've given them, because it feels like you guys have always been very understanding towards them. You guys have always given them the benefit of the doubt and tried to really give them everything and try to be kind of a soft place for them to land. And I feel like for them that meant so much. It honestly, I feel like, healed a part of them that maybe thought that no one would ever care about them that way, or thought that they could never experience that kind of love. So even though they've run away from it, at the same time, I think they think back very grateful for getting to experience it, and with really fond memories for you and for the time you guys had together, because it's almost like it made them realize it's actually a possibility. Even if they're not ready for it now, I feel like for the first time, it's like, maybe that's actually something I could have in my reality. Maybe I'm not so far gone that no one will love me, because I can feel the love between me and pile number 3. And I know that they really are that person that I feel this deep soul connection with, that like our souls feel connected. And it's so different with them. Like, I feel like this person wouldn't necessarily have words to put it in, the spiritual terms. They might not know about twin flames or soulmates, although some of them might, but I feel like they feel that energy. They feel that little string, this kind of golden thread that Jung talked about between you guys. And so, yeah, I feel like for them, in a way, they've tried to chase what they had with you in other people, but they haven't been able to access it. What they had with you, it just feels like it was very once in a lifetime, lightning in a bottle, a special energy, this special flow. But it almost feels like this person has a lot on their plate, a lot that they're dealing with, a lot that they have going on. And I feel like for them, it's like, I've got to work on myself because I know I'm not ready for this. And I think that they're afraid that like you would be all systems go. Like if they were to contact you, you are capable of a relationship, and you are capable of that depth and um, that, emotional depth. That's the only word I can think of. And so for them, I feel like they just wouldn't be ready. It's like they don't want to go there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like sometimes when you're not ready for something, you're like, no, that's too big for me to go. And I feel like for them, in a way, they might have picked in the past kind of emotionally unavailable partners or people where it wasn't that serious, because they weren't ready for that step. And now you're actually there like, no, I'm ready, let's go. And now they're kind of chickening out and they are afraid. In a way, I feel like what's underpinning this is a fear of you seeing them for who they really are, and that emotional intensity, that what is the word, intimacy. It's like that for them, as magical as it has been to have those experiences with you, at the same time they're really scared of getting that deep with you and you seeing them to their core, because it feels like you just knew them so well. As soon as you met them, you could read them like a book, and you're very intuitive, and this person is just like, wow, that is just too much for me, and I don't know if I can do this, and I'm not ready. So yeah, I think that for them, this is something that, as much as they are so grateful for the connection and they can recognize the connection, at the same time, they're kind of letting their fear win and take control. Let's get into some tarot cards. So we got the Ten of Wands, Temperance reversed, Six of Swords, Ace of Wands reversed, Two of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. So this person might be actively working on themselves, and they might be honestly putting in a lot of work, really trying to improve themselves, to get better, and actually doing the work. So if that makes you feel any better, it's not like they're just like wasting their time just hanging out and doing nothing and telling you they're working, but they're not. They are putting in work. They are trying to improve, even if they're not ready yet. I feel like this has inspired them to go through a period of like self-improvement and introspection. And, it's kind of like, it's kind of like they had a little bite of a dessert and then they were like, no, I can't eat this. But they were like, that was so good. Maybe I'll try to make myself get to the place where I can eat this dessert. I know that's a really bad metaphor, but I feel like it's like, even though they did push you away, they did feel like what you guys had was so special and so amazing that it does make them want more of that deep connection. And it does make them think about you and wonder why when you guys met, it was an instantaneous feeling of connection and an instantaneous feeling of knowing each other. So I feel like right now this person's kind of off doing their own thing, trying to run, trying to avoid their emotions, not fully ready to be honest with themselves, and not fully ready to truly go there emotionally. I feel like for them, a lot of it was leaving this behind and hoping that the feelings would go away, hoping that they were just going to wake up and, it was just going to be kind of like a dream, or they would wake up and they would go date someone new and feel the same way, and the feelings wouldn't be as overwhelming as it was with you. But I feel like they have not been able to find that with others. They have not been able to have that same spark that I feel like was so intense with you. And maybe they're starting to realize, wow, what we had doesn't come around very often. But it's almost like they were so intense on running for the longest time that they weren't even paying attention to their feelings or their emotions or a lot of the other factors until now. Now I feel like they can kind of take in like, oh, okay, yeah, this was maybe not the best way to handle it. But I think they almost went into survival mode. In a way, I feel like the love with you was so real and so deep that it kind of made them feel threatened. It made them feel vulnerable, and that made them scared, and then they took off running. But I feel like at the end of the day, there's going to come a point where they're like, I can't really avoid this anymore. I can't really lie to myself anymore. I have to be honest with myself because it's taking a toll on me being separated from pile 3. So yeah, the connection they feel with you is very deep. It is a soulmate. We have the Two of Cups coming through. So they do feel this astral connection. They do feel like you guys have an understanding of each other that it feels like no one else could even come close. Let's get into some of the song cards. Spirit, please give me some song cards for pile number 3. Okay, so this one says Ape Song, I can't say that word, by Beyonce and Jay-Z, Ivy, Taylor Swift. And in a way, I feel like that song, Ape, I wish I could say the whole song, but I can't. I don't know why I even wrote it down considering I can't read it. But I feel like that song is it's a very frenetic energy. It's very like, wild and kind of like I said, frenetic and like almost not panicky, but just like this going all out crazy vibe. And I almost feel like that was the energy they were in for a really long time, was when they had the connection with you. It was like, oh my God, like I'm not ready, hold on, let me take off. And just this panicked, like not thinking it through, but almost like a trauma response to the vulnerability. So they just took off running, not even thinking, not even processing, just being wild for the sake of it. And I feel like it's almost like there's going to be a timeline when they finally come down to earth and admit to themselves everything and are honest about how they really feel. But yeah, it was just, I think, a long time that they were in this energy of just ignoring their feelings and just focusing on living in the moment and being wild and just, I'm not dealing with that. So we got Ivy, Taylor Swift, Sweet Talking Woman, Electric Light Orchestra, and I do feel like they really love the tone of your voice. They love hearing you speak. They love the things you would talk about. I feel like you guys were so connected to them and just supportive of them. And I feel like that really meant a lot to them. The way you would kind of look after them emotionally take care of them, emotionally give so much of yourself to them. I feel like that for them was really everything. It brought a lot to their heart and it made them think of you very fondly and very, they think of you as very sweet, very understanding, very gentle energy, very loving, and like a love that I feel like they really felt like they could only dream of. They might not have felt worthy of this love. They might have felt like, how can Pile 3 love me like this when they're so amazing and I'm such a mess and I don't deserve it and I'm a clown? And it might have actually conjured up feelings of a lack of self-worth, not because you guys did anything wrong, but kind of because you did everything so right. You made them feel so adored and so taken care of and so looked after, that it kind of triggered something inside of them that was a little bit frightening. And we also have Ivy, and the lyric with that's coming to mind is, and on my house of stone, your ivy grows, and now I'm covered. And I feel like in a way, it's like they were the house of stone. They really didn't think anyone could get through their walls. They really didn't think anyone could penetrate into their heart and really make enough of an effort or make an imprint on them that way. But you guys did. And you guys, next thing they know, they're thinking of you all the time. And they're just like a house that maybe you see a little ivy going up the walls and you're like, oh, and this is why Taylor is so great with her metaphors. And you're like, oh, that's okay. So there's some ivy there. And then next time you look, a few months later, it's completely covered. That's what ivy is known for. And so I feel like that's the vibe with them, is they're kind of like, how did this happen? Like, wait a minute, I wasn't looking for this kind of relationship. I wasn't looking for this kind of connection. I wasn't wanting to feel this intensely, but I do. And I don't even recognize myself. This is not me. They might have even had a connection to their identity of being this kind of ape-ish energy, where they were like, I'm wild and crazy and I go all out and I live this crazy party life, or I live this independent life and I'm always doing cool stuff. And that might have been how they thought of themselves. And then you come in and with your gentle, soft energy, you show them actually what they were missing. And it, like I said, instead of them being like really warm and grateful for it, they were panicked by it. They were freaked out. They ran because they didn't feel worthy of it. Let's get some more song cards for pile number 3. So we got Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift. Okay, so definitely, that song is all about memories and looking back and remembering someone's lips or the way they looked silhouetted in the light in your bedroom or whatever. And I feel like this person definitely replays their memories of you, possibly your lips, and just, thinking of all the time you guys had, and they might even dream of you. You guys might come to each other in each other's dreams. So if you have had very vivid dreams of this person, that might be their higher self visiting you in your dreams. But I feel like, in a way, this person doesn't even let themselves go to the place of thinking about you dating someone new, because it would be too heartbreaking for them. So they just ignore it. They do a lot of like blocking things out. They do a lot of like just distracting themselves by staying busy, or even playing video games, or going out drinking, or going out partying, or whatever. But there's a lot of like, let me just not think about this. Let me just think about literally anything else. But I feel like it's almost like while they're dreaming, their defenses are down. So that's actually when they can be really honest. And yeah, I think the memories with you are really strong. Let's get one final song card. Oh my gosh. I remember Yay Sayer, and this is one of actually my favorite songs. It's, in my opinion, very romantic and dreamlike. And as I was saying, the memories are really strong. We pulled this card. Like, I think that even though it's painful for them, sometimes it's kind of like they can't help themselves. And it's kind of like picking a scab, is what I'm seeing in my mind, where they just like, even though they know it's painful and they know they messed up and they hate to think about that, they still let themselves sometimes go back to their thoughts of you and allow themselves to go there, and allow themselves to remember the curve of your cheek, or your lip, the shape of your lips, or your hair glistening in the sunlight, or something like that. I feel like for them, your gentle, sweet energy, the soul acceptance they felt from you, it meant so much. And it's something that they haven't been able to replace with anyone else, or to replicate, or to even come close to when it comes to their relationships with others. Let's get some of these cards. So Spirit, how does pile three's person think of pile three? Let's see. We got the Shadow Queen, acquiring knowledge, insecurity, manipulation. Then we got the Web Weaver, synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect. And this one is the Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, withholding. And finally, the Mapmaker of Destiny, authentic purpose, inspiration, free will. So I feel like with the Shadow Queen, you might have really brought out their insecurities, their shadow side, and they might be in the process now of trying to do shadow work. And that often happens with twin flame and soulmate connections, is that's why we are fated to go through them, is so that we will be prompted to do shadow work that we would ordinarily run from and never even have be brought up. It might be that, you're supposed to come into their life and trigger these feelings and trigger this panic, so that they're finally willing to do the work that they probably should have done a long time ago, to deal with their commitment issues, to deal with their lack of self-worth, to deal with their fear of deep relationships. But I feel like definitely for them, and for some of them, they might have even gotten mad at you because of that. Like, there might have been times when they spoke harshly to you, or they just got mad at you for no reason. And I feel like it's because you bring up those feelings, and no one else can kind of touch them the way you do. No one else can make them feel as kind of insecure and feel as inadequate as you do. It's not because you're bad or that you're doing anything wrong. It's because they see you as so beautiful and so perfect, and they're like, what could they possibly want with me? I'm a loser in comparison. They see you as very divine, possibly that you're very spiritual, and they see you as someone who has helped them heal a lot. Like, I don't know if you guys have a spiritual practice, or you meditate or do tarot or astrology, but I feel like they just see you as very wise and kind of queen-like and genteel and gentle, and that you are so warm and welcoming to them, even though they might have done things that don't deserve that and that have been bad, that you still have offered them forgiveness, and you still see them in a positive light. And I feel like they still see you in the same light. They still see you as so perfect and so worthy, and they just wish they could be the one to have given you it. But it's like right now they're dealing with their own traumas, their own issues. So I do feel like they have the intention that you guys will meet up again in the future, that you guys will reconnect sometime in, however much time, that there will be some reason why you guys get on the phone together or meet up in person and get to actually make this thing work. I just feel like they're not at the place now where they can kind of make that happen. Let's get into some of these cards as well. Spirit, what is pile three's person feeling about pile three? So we got goblins, ride the wave, and this one is peaks of joy. Golden palace and home. So you are like their home in many ways. They feel at home with you. They feel like you are someone who understands them on such a deep soul level. And I feel like when they met you, it was that sense of coming home. It was that sense of like, do I know you? Have I met you before? Have we met? Because how do I just feel so comfortable with pile three, and we're so familiar with each other, and we have so many similarities. And I feel like when things are good between you, it's like nothing even comes close. It's just like the best. It's like this joyful explosion of happiness that they feel. But in a way, I think it just triggered them to be afraid that it was going to end. You know, it's kind of like if someone gives you an extremely expensive vase and they're like, by the way, can you carry this vase around and don't break it? You'd kind of panic, and you might even just want to drop the vase just to end the tension, just so that you didn't have to worry about whether you're going to fall down the flight of stairs or whether you were going to slip while you were like walking out the door. And so you end up just breaking it just to get it over with. I almost feel like that's what this person did, because they felt like things were so good with you that the idea of losing you in the future was just too painful for them. So they were like, let me sabotage it. And a lot of this has to do with their own issues from the past. A lot of it has to do with like their own traumas, their own lack of self-worth, their own, I don't know, childhood stuff that they haven't fixed. But I feel like at the end of the day, you have been kind of a beacon of light to them that has inspired them to make necessary changes and has really taught them that they're actually worthy of love. Because I really feel like they didn't feel worthy before. They really felt like, I'll never get love, I'll never have that, other people have it, and that's good for them, but it's just not going to happen for me. But I feel like you kind of loved them unconditionally, and the vibe and the feeling with you was of such warmth, openness, and a beautiful giving energy that it's made them realize that maybe it is possible, and that they're not going to get this kind of beautiful connection they had with you with anyone else. So yeah, I think it's definitely been an incentive for them to make a lot of these changes. Let's end the reading with some final tarot. Spirit, please can you give me tarot for how pile three's person feels towards them? How does pile three's person feel towards them? Wow, the High Priestess. So yeah, like I was saying, you guys have a lot of spiritual depth that they can feel. And they might even be blocking this connection on the astral plane right now since it came out reversed. They might have tried to block you out. They might have tried to not think of you, or to, if a song comes on that reminds them of you, change the radio station or change the channel or whatever, because they're running so hard and so fast, and they're trying not to let themselves go there. They're trying not to fall into a pit of despair. But that might happen later once they realize that like they kind of really mess things up. But I feel like they feel your soulmate connection. Wow. The Empress, Judgment reversed. So with Judgment reversed, again, they're not using their judgment, and that can be a sign that they really are making a bad choice, and that they've kind of started acknowledging that they went down the wrong path. And with the Empress, I feel like even though they think of you as so beautiful, it is reversed, and they didn't know how to treat you with that honor, respect, and that intentionality that we see with the Empress card, where she is pregnant in the card. She is someone who is starting a family. She is this divine feminine archetype. So it's like, if you're not ready for that, if you're not ready for the full picture of all that entails, then you might run screaming from it, even though you're so drawn to her. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe with you, is like they see you as so beautiful, so worthy, so gorgeous, so special, and with such a loving energy. But at the same time, they're afraid of everything it's going to come with. They're afraid of your depth, your intensity, and your power in a way, and all that would have entailed with the relationship. But I feel like it's like almost at the end of the day like a magnet. They are so drawn back to you. Even as fast as they're running, they can't help themselves. They do think of you quite a lot, and it's just a lot of trauma things coming up for them that I do feel like they're working towards, but the feelings there are so real, so deep, and it is a little sad, but hopefully, I don't know, maybe hopefully they could work through it. But anyways, I think that's what I have for you guys. This was kind of a somber one, but I'm sending you guys so much healing from this, and I would love to know your thoughts, your reactions. If you did feel like this applies to you and your person, let me know in the comments. I always love reading those from you guys. So please let me know what you think. Also, if you guys want to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that little bell. That always helps a lot. And then you can be the first to know when I post new readings. Also, if you guys want to see more of my content, then head on over to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about your career and what you need to know about that. So that's a really helpful reading. But as soon as you sign up, you get access to about 50 additional readings about love, spirituality, travel, relocation, friends, past lives, future lives, and all kinds of different subjects over there, about 50 additional topics. So there's so much to get through and choose from. You guys suggest new topics over there, and then we vote on them. So it's very interactive. So if you guys would like to join our little tribe over on Patreon, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments, and I would absolutely love to have you there. Also, if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. You can have me pull your tarot, channel intuitively, channel mediumship, or you can have me read your astrology. You can have me do a year ahead reading, career reading, a love reading, or just an energy check-in, which I think is always a great idea to get every few months. So if you want to get one of those, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Link is in my description for that, and sign up for a reading with me. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.